Hey everyone, welcome to Build Series. I'm your host, Lauren Moraski from HuffPost. The Revivalists formed in 2007 in New Orleans and have gone on to release multiple albums, score a hit single with Wish I Knew You, and tour the country. Now they're out with their fourth full-length album called Take Good Care. Please give a warm welcome, everyone, to David Shaw and Zack Feinberg. Guys, we're in for a real treat today because these guys are talking to me on stage for about 15, 20 minutes, and then they're going to perform some songs. I heard the sound check, and they rock, so you're in for a real treat. Congrats, first of all, on this new record.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and congratulations for hosting this series.
I mean, I feel so lucky every day that I get to host this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when I have you guys on the other side of the microphones here.
Thank you.
And, you know, how does it feel now that the album's been out? It's been probably a little bit of a labor of love, I would imagine.
It feels great. It feels great. I mean, we worked on it for a long time. I mean, we hadn't made an album in 3 years, so, you know, some of the songs that are on it are some of the songs, you know, that we've kind of been working on for a while, and some that we had in the batch of songs that were going to maybe go on Men Amongst Mountains. So it's just been, you know, that revolving door of like, how do we fit this into what makes sense for us right now?
Yeah. And I understand you had about 60 or somewhat songs going into this.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, with 7 to 8 members in our band, it's we have a lot to pick from. So it's a good problem to have, that we have too many songs, and some of the songs on the record are, you know, maybe 6 years old, even, and some of them are new, you know, written a couple months before we got in the studio.
Yeah.
So how did that work? Okay, we're 7, 8 members in the band. We're going into the studio with the 60 songs, and how do you whittle that down?
We initially, within the band, whittled it down to 20.
Okay.
We had a spreadsheet. It was on Google. It was a whole thing.
We were very organized.
Wow, for a band, that's impressive.
Michael Gerardo, he's the keys player. He's a spreadsheet guy, so he kind of keeps us, you know, on the lockdown with that stuff. Yeah.
All right. So in the end, I mean, what would you say won out in terms of what actually made it on the record? What types of songs did you really want to put on this?
So once we whittled it down to the 25, we kind of brought it to the various producers that we had sessions booked with, and we pretty much let them have their pickings from there, which is a little bit different than we've done it in the past. Yeah. But we kind of look at the producer as like the democratically elected benevolent dictator.
Yeah, exactly.
So we gave them the songs, and we just went along for the ride and let them kind of have their say on this one.
All right. Has anybody heard it yet? Because it's very good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah.
It just came out Friday, but I know people probably clamoring to take a listen to it. All My Friends you released earlier on. It's the first single.
Yep.
Can you talk a little bit about that song and what you wanted to say?
You know, actually, that was a tune that I had written most of the verse content, like when I was like 26 or so, but never really had the right thing that I was like really trying to say with it, you know. So I just kind of put it back into the archives and waited, you know. And I was doing a session in Malibu with Dave Bassett, who's the producer and a songwriter on the tune. And I brought that to the table. I was like, you know, I got this, and I've had several iterations of it, and it never really clicked with me or anybody in the band. And you know, he checked it out, and he was like, well, you know, like, what does this speak to? You know, what does this say to you? Like, did you have, you know, like, what were your 20s like? You know, and I was like, well, man, I don't even barely remember. You know, like, it was a tumultuous time for me, for sure. And so, you know, we kind of came upon this thing of like, you know, well, you probably had a lot of good people around you because you might not be here if that hadn't been the case. So that's where we started to think about the all my friends, you know, part of the song, and it's the chorus, so it's the part that's, you know, meant to uplift you. So
yeah, I would say it's uplifting.
Yeah, so that's the idea for the song.
Track. I mean, for, you know, being at this for so long, this is one of the first times, if not the first time, that you kind of teamed up with a different set of producers and writers. What did that bring to the fold?
You want
Either of you.
Sure. Working with different producers, they bring different strengths to the table. It was the first time we recorded outside of the state of Louisiana in our careers, and we got to work with Dave Cobb and amazing historic studio in Nashville, RCA Studio A, and he had more of a tolerance for capturing a really raw live performance than we've ever encountered before. So we cut a couple songs, "Got Love" and "Celebration," all of us live in the same room, guitar
Even
amps,
me,
even the
even
singer.
I was
Yeah.
on a handheld mic,
Yeah.
vocals blaring in the room. I'm running around like it was a show. Like we were really trying to like capture that.
Which is why we wanted
How
to
do we
work with
do
him,
this?
because
Yeah.
he's really good at capturing that raw live performance energy.
Exactly.
And he had really good ideas on ways to propel the song forward in terms
Yep.
of various parts.
Like
On-
when I'm with you,
When I'm with you, that boo doo 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 doo. That was his suggestion.
and he made the bridge the chorus.
and he
So that was a really good wanted
oh yeah.
thought. Yeah.
And then the sing along part of Celebration and the beast the riff also in God Love.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Yep.
Good
yeah,
ideas,
So
yeah.
Great ideas. Great producer. Super happy to have worked with him for sure.
Definitely a collaborative effort, it seems.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you guys are known for your live shows, so it's cool that you were able to kind of inject some of that into the album.
That's what I mean.
itself.
That's really what, because it's like we're a totally a live band. We've never really like I wouldn't even say like I mean we have studio albums like for sure, but like I feel like live is kind of just like where it's at for us. So we're just trying to get better in the studio. Or obviously we're trying to get better live, but like it's just one of those things.
So do you feel like you're still growing in that capacity?
Absolutely.
And how so? Like where do you feel like you need to improve?
I think that's one of those things where it's like you take a song into the studio, or if you've been playing it live and you take it into the studio and it's like, whoa, this is not working in the studio, but it's crushing live. So how do you find that, the fine line between what works good for the studio and what works live? Kind of we're finding that honestly it's just better to just like do what works live and then just do what works on the studio.
Got it. Yeah.
Don't so. But
I mean, also
it's
sometimes
a process.
it is a process, and sometimes people have certain ideas on the way it should go in the studio, and there's this balance of hearing out that idea,
Yeah.
being a team player,
Yep.
and then also when the time is right, saying, "Listen,
We've exhausted all ideas.
Yeah.
This is all we
We
have
spent
left.
hours on this. Yeah.
Your last album was your third album, and that album really hit pretty hard for a lot of fans and everything. And it hit single and some traction elsewhere.
Yeah.
How did that change things for you?
Oh man. I can't walk around the grocery store anymore. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean honestly, not a ton.
Yeah.
I mean,
you got a pretty sweet pool."
I got a pool.
You got to treat yourself with something.
Exactly. Honestly, it afforded us the ability to work with some of these producers and songwriters, and it also just kind of, it was a nice little kick in the ass for us, to like, cause like, it's tough to like be doing it, for 10 years and to not like, I mean, like our success has been like this, it's like,
It's been pretty incremental.
very incremental, So like to have that injection at a pretty late time was a really good thing, I think, So
Just got to keep it going. Did it add any
Yeah.
pressure for this record?
a little bit, honestly, but I didn't really.
we
really
say
feel
it
it.
didn't, but I think almost in a way, like looking back, it was there in a way that I wasn't conscious of, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. It was like in the background somewhere, right?
Yeah, I think so.
This album has a lot of great songs on it. The one that stood out to me, just because it's so relevant right now, is I think it's called "Shoot Me Down."
Shoot
right?
You Down,
Shoot
yeah.
You Down.
Yeah.
And it was inspired, I understand, by Parkland. And the
Yeah, I
shooting
mean,
there.
not totally by Parkland. It was more of just like I started writing the tune like a year and a half ago, and it was about guns, but I kind of was like, all right, there's another message here. So brought it to Zach and Andrew and a friend of mine, Chris Galbuta, and we all kind of came together on some of the verses.
I remember where we were when the Newtown shooting happened.
Yeah.
We were in Asheville, North Carolina for Warren Haynes' Christmas Jam. And somebody said the news and said, you know, like a bunch of children have been murdered by a gun. There's a school shooting of kindergartners. And, you know, like everybody in the world was just absolutely aghast. It's completely senseless. And the news about these things it's all the time. And we've become somewhat desensitized to it. And the message that we're trying to convey is that that's not okay. We need to have change in our laws in this country to have sensible gun reform. And that's something we stand very firmly for.
Absolutely.
Right. And I understand you partnered with an organization, too, for this as well.
Yes, we did.
So can you tell us a little bit about that and what you hope the single does for the organization and just for the cause in general?
You know, we sent a bunch of singles out to a bunch of different retailers, and, you know, we just hope that, you know, all the proceeds go to Everytown to just help them do what they do, facilitate that message. We're out here trying to facilitate that message, and they're doing a hell of a good job doing the same. So, you know, we just hope that, like, if we don't do our part to, you know, speak our voice, and because we have microphones. Not everybody has microphones, you know. So, like, we've got to be able to do that because you got a lot of people with microphones doing the opposite. So, like, we're just trying to speak our heart for what's right to push the needle for change in the right way.
Well, that's great to hear. You have a platform, so you're using it for a good cause
Absolutely.
here.
Absolutely.
I can't help but think "Take Good Care" kind of relates back to that in some ways. You know, know, you got right.
Yeah,
What
absolutely.
were you thinking about? I mean, maybe not that directly, but what were you thinking about deciding? Okay, we're gonna name this album "Take Good Care."
I think always when we're putting our message out there and creating our music, we want our overall message to be life affirming and positive. So you know, we have songs like "Keep Going," that speak to just endure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we were brainstorming album titles for this one, and you know, it took a little while. And before you suggested,
Suggested "Take Good Care," and
you know,
you got 8 people in the band.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's tough to get stuff done sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
it's tough.
But we were by the pool in Vegas.
we were by the pool.
We were doing a promo thing.
Yeah, we were doing
You
some
said, "What about Take Good Care?" And I said, because usually we go with a lyric from a song. I said, "What song is that from?" You said, "All My Friends." I was like, "Oh yeah, that's good. I like that. That's my favorite one so far."
Yeah, and it
And
stuck.
then we brought it to the band, and everybody was like,
And our
Yeah,
fans
all right,
take
cool.
really good care of each other too.
exactly.
Yeah,
You know?
right? They
It's
do.
really nice. Yeah. There's a
You
group
gotta
called
do
the
these
Rev.
days, right?
Yeah.
You can't just be around.
Yeah.
Shout out to the
exactly.
Rev Heads.
That's
There's a group
right.
called the Rev Heads. For example, some Rev Heads were affected by the Northern California fires, and they raised a bunch of money to help them with
In
that.
like
And
3
they're doing
days, they've
stuff
raised
like that all
like
the time.
$15,000. It's like amazing.
It's so
It's
nice when we
amazing.
can come together like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You mentioned 8 people. Obviously, 8 people. You're going on tour in the fall, in the new year. What's it like being on the road with like 8 people, making those decisions, going from town to
fun.
town? Yeah.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
It's fun. It's fun.
We eat a lot of hummus,
That's right. That's
a lot of carrots and celery.
Gotta
and
watch
ranch
out
dip.
for that green room broccoli.
No fast
though.
food on the road? No?
He
mean,
speaks the truth
I'll-
about green room broccoli.
Yeah.
Sometimes you open up you guys know what I'm talking about? You open up that broccoli and it stinks. What's up with that?
I don't know. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad.
What's the deal with green room broccoli, people?
Yeah.
I
look.
mean, come on. How hard is it to get some fresh broccoli?
Avoid it at all costs. We'll make
Avoid
sure
it, y'all.
not to put
Avoid
that in the
it.
green room
Avoid it.
anytime you're here. But you know, you guys play like what's the longest show you ever played? What do you think was the max?
Oh, like one of our first shows that me and you ever played.
Oh yeah.
That's like
my dad was there. My dad's in the audience tonight. Let's give him a round of applause.
give it up for the
What's
dad.
up, baby?
Nice.
The first show that we ever played was at a bar in New Orleans called Checkpoint Charlie's.
Okay.
It's a live music venue / bar / grill / laundromat / pinball arcade. and we were playing there, and we played with two other guys, our drummer Andrew Campanelli and a gentleman who was playing bass with us at the time. And they finished. They had tests the next morning. We were college students, and Dave and I said, let's just keep playing. You know, there's nobody on after us, so we played to about 4 in the morning. You know, we started at 8, I think.
Oh my God.
I feel like we played till like 7 in the morning.
It's possible.
Maybe that's what time I got home. Or maybe 9.
Some 6 hours you're on stage.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
Incredible.
At least, yeah, it was
We
fun.
also used to play in Pensacola, Florida, on a little boardwalk beach bar called Bamboo Willie's, where we would have a weekend residency once a month, and we would do 3 sets, 3-hour-long sets on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we used to do that. That was kind of like our Hamburg for the Beatles, like cutting our teeth.
Yeah. Yes, you got to do those 1,000 hours or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
You're Malcolm Gladwell.
Yeah, exactly.
Educated
Yes,
there.
I read that book. All right, so we have some questions from the crowd before we get to hear you
do it.
perform. So let's get to it because we have a lot of fans out here. Who's
Cool.
first?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Firstly, thanks for doing this.
Absolutely.
You wanna say
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
hi? So my question, I actually am an alumni of Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland.
Oh, wow.
And I was texting one of my closest friends when he's a teacher there, and he was hiding in a closet during the shooting. And when that song came out, like tears came to my eye. And you kind of answered the question of where you want to take it, but maybe like what kind of message you want to send to the students and the activists who have really kind of made a dent so far.
Keep it up.
Communication.
Yeah.
Communication is the key, I really think, because if you're not communicating about it, then you have to communicate with the people that don't believe it in your cause, because that just shuts down. You can't build bridges that way. That's how people build walls. You know what I'm saying? So we got to communicate. Communicate. That's what I think.
Yeah, and I mean, what they've been doing is so impressive, and they're so composed and wonderful. I really admire how they're standing up for what they believe in. So I would just commend them.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
absolutely.
Thank you for that question. All right, who's next? Right here.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Oh, how's it
How are
going?
you? So I know you've played New York, a bunch of different venues. We went to the Bloomingburg and Camp Echo, the wine festival, and I've seen
very
you
cool.
in the Capitol Theater where it's full,
Yes.
right? Do you guys approach a full show like that versus the elements at another show?
We have a saying. It's 10 or 10,000. I mean, really, it's the truth though, because thank you. From when we were playing rooms to 1 to 2, 3 people, honestly, we played many shows like that. We always just gave it the same show. And then it was funny when we went and played Red Rocks, our drummer Andrew was like, "Hey guys," we were all standing backstage before he went on. He was like, "Remember when we used to say 10 or 10,000? Well, here's our 10,000. It was kind of crazy." So
Yeah, whenever we're playing in a bar in front of 8 people, you still have to bring it and
gotta
put your
bring
heart
it.
into it. And it's almost like in those situations, you just have
Bring
to
it
rely
harder.
on your intrinsic motivation. You're not trying to impress anybody. You're doing it for yourself. So sometimes in that situation, when you have extremely low expectations, you end up having even more fun, which I
lot of
found.
fun,
And
yeah.
talking about just always bringing it, literally the way we met was he was playing guitar and singing on his front porch in front of nobody. And I was riding my bike by. I was like, this guy is killing it. Just belting it all out there.
thanks, buddy.
So that's the way we approach things.
I felt that, and thank you for the soul fight too.
Oh, thanks.
All right.
man.
Thank you.
All right, we have time for one more question.
Hi, guys, and hi, Zach, fellow Westchester County.
All right. Where are you from?
There's a lot of Rev heads here. Your New York City crew is all here tonight.
Nice.
I just wanted to know, you mentioned it before, but what the fandom brings back to you guys. I know for us, traveling all over and seeing you guys, the passion is so intense that we get from you. I wanted to know what it meant for you, seeing Rev heads over and over at the same show. What does that mean to you guys?
It's very heartwarming to see this community support one another and that we can help bring people together in any way is wonderful.
That is cool. That's like the community aspect about it is like, I never even thought ever that was honestly possible. It wasn't something that kind of like hit my brain. And then once it started happening, it was like, oh my God, I get it. Oh my God, wow, okay, this is amazing. And what it's grown to be is like far beyond what I ever thought. And yeah, I don't know. It's great. It's really amazing. It's really cool. It's really cool. That's all I can really say about that.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah,
we
and you
appreciate
know,
it.
whenever I'm feeling down, I just pop into Rev Heads and look at pictures of myself.
We'll post some more. We'll post some more.
Oh my gosh. Well, on that note, that was a great way to end this, I think. The album's out now. It's called Take Good Care. David Shaw and Zack Feinberg. Give it up one more time for the Revivalists, everyone.